Hello. Are we live? I feel like all my live streams start the same. I'm like, are we live? Okay, I'm gonna give it a second to catch up because I think there's like maybe a 10-second delay. So hey everyone. I can hear it. Yay! Okay, now we're all here. Yay! Hey everyone. So let me know in the chat what country you're from. I'll start off. I'm from Sydney, Australia. You look fire. Thank you. And sorry if I'm looking down, the chat is like just down here. But I'm so excited to be live streaming again. I feel like it's been like at least a year, if not longer, since the last live stream that we've done. Love my Google Pixel 8 Pro Bay color. That's the one that I have too. Yeah, we were just staring at the thumbnail of me holding the phone while we were having technical difficulties getting this started. Oh, we have Czech Republic, Brazil, watching from Sydney, Los Angeles. What time is it in America? I feel like it must be late. And yeah, we've got Dan. He's moderating the chat today. So if there's any questions that I might miss, he will answer them for you, such as, yes, today's live stream is being recorded and I'll upload it right after it's finished. So if it's really late where you are, you can go to sleep and you can watch it tomorrow morning. London, Northern California. COVID last time you live streamed? Yeah, I think it was. We were doing heaps of I edit your photos because like we were all not being able to go out and do photo shoots. So we had to be editing. South Korea. Florida, 2 a.m. Colombia, but living in Sydney. That's like Jess. But Brazil. Oh, 11 p.m. in LA. That's not too bad. Philippines. Awesome. So today's live stream is sponsored by Google and Google Pixel. I've got my Pixel 8 Pro right here. And today I'm going to be going through some of the photos that I've taken on the Pixel 8 Pro as well as the other Pixel phones because I've been using Pixel for quite a few years now. And I want to share with you like heaps of photography tips. So today's photos that I've taken, I do have some portraits. Dan and I took some portraits of each other, but I also have lots of like street photography and landscape photography. I have cityscapes, night sight photos. I've got a whole bunch of different genres of photography. So I have lots of different like composition tips and shooting tips and camera tips and things that I want to share with you. So if you've got like a pen and paper or something, please be ready to write down some notes or maybe type it on your phone or on your computer or something, because yeah, there'll be lots of like nuggets and stuff that I want to share today throughout the video. And we're also going to be editing some photos as well. Oh, and thank you so much to everyone who submitted photos as well. I've got some good images here in the Pixel. We'll probably do that towards the end of the video where I'll edit some of your photos. What time is it for me? It is 6 p.m. Well, 6:08 now. London is 7 a.m. getting up for work. I would like to join you someday in Sydney. Is that possible? I would love to start doing some like in-person photography workshops again, or even like little shootout days where you just go for a walk around as a group of photographers taking like street photos and stuff. I feel like that'd be so fun. That's me, the person who keeps commenting on your IG to go live. Well, here I am. I'm finally live. Okay, so I've got some fun buttons here that are gonna change the scene. And I thought I'd start off by sharing some of my favorite photos that I've taken on the Google Pixel 8 Pro. So I've got this photo here. So by the way, I've got like the tablet here, the Pixel tablet, and then I've got my phone. I'm going to be switching between the two, so you guys let me know which one you prefer, like the screen of. So this is what the tablet looks like. It fills up like the entire screen, and then I'll show you the phone in a little bit as well. So I went for a walk around Sydney with the Pixel 8 Pro and took some photos of the sights. I've got the Opera House looking beautiful here. This was taken in Kirribilli. There's like this perfect street where you can see like, yeah, the road lines up with the Opera House, and you can see the Centrepoint Tower in the background as well. It's a really special spot for landscape photography in Sydney. And it's also jacaranda season in Sydney at the moment. Well, it was when I took these photos like a couple of weeks ago. Now the purple leaves are starting to kind of fall off a little bit. But it's probably my favorite time of year in Sydney, when you can see the jacarandas everywhere, because wherever you're driving, wherever you're walking, it's just like splashes of purple everywhere. It's so beautiful. I feel like Australia is like very green most of the time. Green and brown are our colors. So having the purple jacarandas make all the streets go colourful is really, really nice. And this is the Sydney Harbour Bridge, by the way. Would it be possible to take part in such a photo shoot with only a phone, no DSLR? Yes, of course. I'm showing you here, like you can take some really beautiful photos on your phone, and it's something that I recommend to people who say to me that they can't afford a camera or they can't afford a lens. Sometimes I'm like, if you've got a phone, that's kind of all you need to practice composition and practice your creative eye as well. So as I was walking around taking photos, these photos that I'm showing you right now in Sydney, I feel like it's very therapeutic, just like walking and taking photos and just being creative, and you kind of like notice things that you might not otherwise. So this photo here, this is probably my favorite one that I took. This was with the 5x lens on the Pixel 8 Pro. And it's really fun using a telephoto lens to do cityscape photography, because it gives you like a really different perspective that you don't otherwise see like with your eyes. Our eyes are typically more like wide angle, like you see a lot. So with a telephoto, it really like zones in and focuses on very particular things in your location. And it also kind of like compresses what you're seeing as well. So as you can see here, you've got like these buildings here in the foreground, and then you've got the Anzac Bridge there in the background, and then the aeroplane as well, which was just flying past. And they kind of all look like they're in the same level, and that's because I'm using a telephoto zoom lens, so the 5x lens. And then I also have this night sight photo. So this was taken on Observatory Hill, I think it's called. I used to do like so much wedding photography in that location, and it never used to be that busy like a few years ago. And then when I came here to take this photo, there was like 100 people, and they were all sitting down on the grass waiting for the sun to set. It was so cute, very wholesome. So in this spot here, I took this photo because I really like the lights of the building in the background there, and then as well as the road. I'm really happy a car drove past, because then I got like the long exposure lights in the foreground, which I think is cute. But to the right of this photo, you can see the Harbour Bridge, and then to the left of this photo is the Anzac Bridge. So it's a really cool spot, and you're like really up high as well. So it's a good viewpoint of everything. And if I just zoom in here, you can see Luna Park there on the right hand side. So yeah, if you're in Sydney, you've never been there before, highly recommend. I'll travel to New Zealand next year. What photogenic place do you recommend? Oh, I've been to New Zealand before, and it is such a stunning place. If you're going to the South Island, I feel like you can't go wrong with pretty much anywhere there. Queenstown is really beautiful, and Wanaka as well. They've got beautiful mountains and beautiful lakes. Oh, and you should check out that Wanaka tree as well. So yeah, so those are some of the photos that I've taken on the Google Pixel 8 Pro. These are all edited, so I took these in RAW plus JPEG. I like having the RAW because as a photographer, I feel like I just love editing photos. So I opened up these RAWs in Lightroom, and these are my edited versions. Oh, thanks, Jess. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this fun photo up there. But a little bit of history in case you haven't seen some of my videos that I've posted about Pixel 8 or Pixel in general. I've been with Pixel since the Pixel 3, but the first video I ever posted about Pixel was the Pixel 4. And that video has almost 1 million views. So thank you so much for watching that video. It's like, that blows my mind. But we did a portrait photo shoot, and I don't think anyone had ever really done that on YouTube before. So it was really exciting. And yeah, ever since then, I've been making videos on Pixel from 4, 5, 6, 7, and now in the 8 Pro. And I'm going to show you. So the next, oh, sorry, you've got some questions. Are you using a tripod for some of these? The only one I used a tripod for, oh, sorry, hit the microphone, is this night sight photo here. So as you can see, like that car, the lights of the car have been blurred. So that means it's taken a bit of a longer exposure. So I've just got it on the tripod just to make sure that when you zoom in, everything's like nice and sharp. I don't want to have any motion blur. What do you think about the quality? The quality is amazing. I like to shoot in RAW because I like editing my own photos, but I find that the majority of the time, even just having the JPEG straight out of the Pixel 8 Pro is great. So yeah, I really like the quality. You'll be able to see in like the photos that I'm showing you later as well. Am I a little bit out of center? Maybe there. Is that better? Sorry. What microphone do you use for YouTube videos? That's a question for Dan. He's in the chat. He'll help you out. Okay, so I know a lot of you guys who follow me are photographers, and a lot of us have cameras that we use. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why you should think about using your phone to do photography. So from this next bunch of photos that I'm showing you, these are all photos from all the Pixels that I've used over the years. So from the Pixel 4 all the way to the 8 Pro. This is an astrophotography shot that I took. I think I took this one with I'm going to say the 6 Pro. I think that's the one that I used for this photo. And it still blows my mind that you can do astrophotography like this on a phone. Like, that's crazy. You can see the whole Milky Way. And I've even got a little bit of the branches from the tree. And for a photo like this, I definitely had this one on a tripod because for astrophotography, it did a 30-second exposure. So when it does the 30-second exposure, it's like taking photos for 30 minutes, but it's not like a DSLR 30-second exposure. It's kind of like layering the photos and doing all this like digital back-end stuff that I don't understand too well, but then you end up with a really nice photo like this. So I love using a phone to do photography with when I'm out traveling and doing like day trips. I don't always want to have like a big camera on me. Like, I love taking my camera for photos, but sometimes it's really heavy, kind of annoying to take with you. You have to like charge the batteries and make sure you've got a blank card in there. Whereas a phone, it's like just always in your bag or in your pocket and it's just ready to go. So it's like really convenient to take photos. I took this one in the Blue Mountains in Australia. So beautiful. I love it when the sky does that. You've got like all these clouds and then just like a little slither where there's like some clean sky and then the sun pokes through. It's just so magical. Got some photos here at the beach. And as you can see, a lot of these photos that these are just, well, some of them are edited and some of them are not, but you'll see I've shot them at 9:16 ratio. And I usually do that because I like posting to my Instagram stories, so I shoot in that ratio. But then if I want to post that photo or print it or something like that, I'll usually crop it to 2:3 or 4:5. The best camera is the one that you're carrying. Yes, exactly. So yeah, I love taking like nature photos. I also love using my phone to do behind the scenes. So when I'm doing photography or I ask people to take photos of me taking photos because it's nice to post that on social media. I like taking photos of like the setups that I do for my work as well. Is there a rustling noise to your audio? That would be my top. I'm so sorry. I also love taking photos of my pets with my phone. I feel like, again, it's like always on you. So you see them doing something cute. Like here, Evie was selling memory cards. She just started a little shop, and I had my phone and I quickly took a photo of her. And then, like the photos that I showed you earlier, I love having my phone to take photos when I'm walking around to like run an errand, or I'm heading over to a photo shoot and I see like a cool scene. I'm like, boop, take out my phone, take a photo. I love taking photos of like little moments, things that I see at the shops. And you know, I think this was Dan and I had like a date, and I was like, oh, let me take a quick exposure of the Harbour Bridge because it looks so pretty. So yeah, I feel like it's really nice having a phone with you, especially a phone that takes good quality photos. So if you see something, you can, you know, take your time a little bit with the composition and you end up with something really nice. Kudos to Dan because the audio is always so good in your videos. Oh, he's gonna love that. So yeah, so there's a little gallery of some phone photos. So sometimes they're like little fun snapshots, and sometimes they're more like composed and edited photos. All right, so I'm gonna switch back to me, and then I'm gonna switch over to the pixels. So those I was showing you on the tablet. And hopefully when I press this button, nothing happens. Okay, the pixel's supposed to pop up, but it didn't. Do you live stream every week? No, but I could live stream more often. We were saying the last time that I live streamed was about 2 years ago. I feel like I can't leave it for that long again. Sorry, I'm trying to get my pixel screen up. But if you have any questions about anything that I'm talking about, please let me know in the chat, or anything that I'm not talking about, we can just talk. Okay, so while I'm trying to figure out how to get the pixel to pop up, I wanted to say that while I have you guys on live, that I'm starting to do a vlog. So I've always loved the idea of vlogging, but I feel like usually people do like weekly vlogs, which I feel like is way too much for the channel, and I don't want it to take away from... Oh, did we get it up? Is that me? Can we see the screen now? Okay. And yeah, I don't want it to take away from like my photography videos, but I've decided to start like a monthly vlog. So I've been like vlogging everything that's been happening in November. So Google Pixel invited me to the ARIA Awards. I don't know if you guys saw that on my Instagram stories. I still kind of can't believe that happened, but that's all going to be in the vlog. I'm really excited. And yeah, I'm going to upload the first one during the first week of December. So I'm going to wait until like the last day of the month, and then I'll edit the video, and then I'll post it like within the week. But yeah, I'm really excited. Okay, we can see the phone now. All right, so I took some photos of Dan, and I took these. Is that dimming a lot? Okay, so I took these with every single camera available in the Pixel 8 Pro. I'm just going to hold it up so you can see it as well. The travel vlog of Dolomites was amazing. Thank you. I've learned how to pronounce it now as well. I don't know why I was saying Dolimites. I thought it was pronounced like Yosemite. Do you ever go to the Kando events? Yes, I did. I have a vlog that I have to edit from that as well. I saw that was like doing an awards ceremony. Yes. Yeah, so I don't know, if you're not from Australia, you might not have heard of the ARIA Awards, but it's basically Australia's biggest awards show for the music industry. Yeah, so there was a lot of cool like musical acts, and yeah, it was an amazing experience. But yeah, you'll see all of that in the vlog. Okay, so I took photos of Dan with every single camera available in the Pixel 8 Pro. So there are 4 main focal lengths that you can use. So we have 0.5 times, which is ultra wide. And if you're a photographer or a videographer, this is the full frame equivalent of around 12 millimeters. So it's very, very wide. And then I asked Dan to stand in the same spot and I moved back instead. So then this next photo was taken with the 1x camera, which is the full frame equivalent of 24 millimeters, not megapixels. And then I stood back even further and took another photo of him with the 2x camera. And this is around 50 millimeters, 48, 50. And then last but not least, I was like, I don't even know how far away I was, but pretty far away from Dan. And I took this one with the 5x camera, and this is about 110 millimeters. So I wanted to show you these 4 photos one after another because I will be talking about focal lengths quite a lot throughout the photos that I'll be showing you today. Just to show you like how a focal length can really change what a photo looks like. And I think it's really cool that you have the choice of choosing what focal length to use in a phone while taking photos, because it gives you so much more creative freedom to create some interesting photos. So with the wide angle photo, you can see like the most out of everything. So you can see the whole background. You can see like all these people walking there in the background. Like there's a lot going on, and I feel like Dan also looks a little bit funny. The ultra wide angle, depending how you angle the photo, it can like kind of stretch people out a little bit. And then you have the 1x. So as you start zooming in a little bit more, the Dan's proportions become more normal, and you start seeing less of the background here. And then as you continue zooming in, it's almost as if the background is getting pulled towards him, and it creates that really nice compression. So I feel like the 5x is such a fun lens to do portrait photography with, and also how I showed you earlier with like the street photos as well, the cityscapes. And then I also have, so this is the version of the photo that I was showing you before, but this is the photo this one here, this is the JPEG that the Pixel took. So the other one was the version that I edited from RAW, and then this is the JPEG from the Pixel. So for this photo, I'm staying in the same spot. So I have the phone on a tripod so we can get the exact same photo. So this is the ultra wide 0.5x, this is 1x, this is 2x, and finally 5x. So you can see you've got quite a large range, quite a large focal range. I'm struggling to talk, sorry. Note to self, I won't wear this top again. Now I can hear it rustling. I'm so sorry. Currently, I'm a real estate photographer. I don't think I could ever shoot photos of people, and I'm not creative with poses. Homes are so much easier. But see, that's funny because like I'm a portrait photographer and I wouldn't know where to start with architecture photography and like house photography. I feel like with portraits, the way I started was by taking self-portraits because there's like no pressure and you can kind of like experiment and get to know how it all works. And I also liked taking photos of people I knew. So I would ask my sister if I could take photos of her. Because I was doing photography when I was very young, I would also ask my school friends if I could take photos of them too. It's such a good way to practice. Because yeah, it's not scary that way. Okay, so I've got some photos that I want to go through. So these are the photos we'll be editing a little bit, and I'll also be sharing with you. I'll be also sharing my photography tips about. So here's a little photo that I took of Dan and a photo that I just took of the street because I want to share like a bit of a mixture of photography. So you'll see with the street photo, I kind of like changed my angle of where I was photographing. So because I don't have a subject, I wanted to do like a very straight on shot, because you've got all the straight lines of like the footpath and the door, and I really loved like all that texture and the color from the leaves on the wall as well. And then when I got Dan to stand in the frame, because I did see here in this section there was like a nice little blank area on the wall, and I was like, Dan, can you stand there? I feel like this would be a good portrait of you. So I asked him to stand there, and I got him to face towards the light. So you'll see that he's got some nice light on his face to help him stand out. And I made sure to get him against like kind of like a blanker area of the wall, just so he like stands out against that background, because it is quite busy. So I love looking out if I could add a subject possibly. I love looking out for colors in my locations. The red door is so stunning, and also playing around with my angles. And then here's another door that I found. It's such a beautiful street. There's this one street that I like walking down that's just got so many plants on either side, and all the houses and the doorways look so cute. I love this one because like the wall is red. It's kind of like the inverted version of the other photo, and then it's got like these beautiful trees. Again, I love looking out for any kind of like straight angled photos that I can take. I feel like they look so striking. And a little tip that I have is that if you don't get it quite right in camera, I don't know why, I feel like sometimes I'm there and I'm like, okay, it all looks really, really straight. And then I take a photo and then I'm looking at it later to edit and it's crooked. So you can always just like fix that in post. This one actually took quite straight in real life. Yeah, actually it was a little bit crooked. I kind of look out for like the main line in the photo. So in this case for me, it's the doorway line that stands out the most, and I just adjust that so it's like perfectly straight. Got it. I do know Bella Kotak. You're asking for Indian photographer. She does live in London though, but her work is absolutely amazing. She does like self-portraits against florals, and she does some like AI work as well. All right, so Dan took this photo of me. So this is like what the whole street looks like. You can see like there's so much greenery on either side. Everyone's just got like all these pot plants and stuff that they've planted. And the street's so nice to take photos in. So while I like taking sort of like the main photos of like the big things that I see, so portraits and portraits of doorways and things like that, another tip that I have is to always make sure to take photos of the smaller details. So in this case, some of the flowers that were blooming there were so beautiful. The colors, for example, of these flowers were so contrasty against the white building in the background. And you kind of create like a set of photos that takes a story when you've got like the portrait and then a shot of like a cool wall and then a closer up detail of some flowers on the side as well. And a little cat. I took this with the 5x telephoto lens. But I love like, yeah, just like that detail you can see. I love that the photo doesn't look over sharpened. It's one of my favorite things of the Pixel 8 Pro. Like it is sharp enough that you can see all the details, but it's not like overly sharp. Like you can see how fine his fur and his whiskers look. Cute cat. Okay, so as I said, it's jacaranda season, and there's this place that has some of the most beautiful jacaranda trees in the north of Sydney. So here I took a couple of different photos. So this photo here is with the ultra wide lens, I think. Was it? I don't remember. I think it was. There's something there. Oh, it's a dog. I was like, what is that in the bottom of the photo? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. So we have the ultra wide photo where you capture like the entire scene. So when I go ultra wide angle, it's because there's like a huge tree like this and then also beautiful petals on the ground. And I just want to take a photo where you can see like everything in the frame. Again, I like to change out my angles. So I actually prefer this photo where you can see like the whole tree. It looks so stunning. And then you've got the little steps that create like a, what's it called? Like a line of vision? No, what's it called? I'm having a mind blank. Oh, please, someone help me out in the chat. The line. Okay, I don't know. The viewpoint? Oh my gosh. Anyway, creates a line that your eye is drawn to, and you kind of like start by looking at the tree and then you go through and then down the stairs. But I changed up my angle because I wanted to see what else I could take a photo of. Oh, leading lines. Why did I forget that? Leading lines, yes, thank you. We all remembered at the same time. Okay, so then I changed up my angle because I was like, okay, what else can I photograph here? So I really, really liked the petals on the ground, and I kind of found this angle, which I really liked. But I did feel like it was a little bit plain. So I asked Dan if he could take a photo of me while I was walking through the frame, because I feel like sometimes when you've got this ultra wide photo, sometimes you don't really have anything that really draws the attention of your eyes. So I put a person there instead. And there's like a couple of different ways that you can have your subject be in the photo. So in this photo, I actually like kind of pretended that I was walking down the stairs because like I like that sense of movement in the photo. I feel like that's really interesting when you're taking portraits. But then I've also got a photo here where I'm just kind of standing still. And then another photo where this is still an ultra wide where I just came closer to the camera so I'm more prominent in the frame. So again, these are all with the ultra wide, the 0.5 times lens. And you can kind of like have a photo where the subject kind of blends into the background a little bit, or if you bring them closer to the camera, you can make them stand out. So in this photo, we have that van, annoyingly. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm just going to use the magic eraser on him, on the van. Just going to circle him. And we'll get rid of it. Yay! Much better. The jacaranda tree is really beautiful. We don't have them here. Unable to understand, it's too fast. Oh, sorry. I'll try and slow down. Okay, so I want to edit this photo a little bit because I really like this one. Probably one of my favorite shots that Dan took of me. Are these shots in RAW or JPEG? So I shot them in RAW plus JPEG, but I'm just editing the JPEG here. Okay, so I'm going to start by bringing up the shadows of this photo because I feel like some of the darker parts of the image are a little too dark and I just want to bring out all that detail. So I feel like when you bring out the shadows, you can see a little bit more color, which is nice. And then because the jacaranda is purple, which is like a cool color, and this was taken in the shade, I feel like we have a little bit of a cooler cast on the photo. So I'm also going to increase the warmth. Just there. Could also add a little bit of a vignette, like a tiny, tiny bit. Just because it's like ultra wide, sometimes adding a vignette can again like bring your attention back into the center of the frame. So here we have the original and here we have the after. Do you like going low angle shots when using the widest angle? Yes, that is a really cool thing that you can do when you're on ultra wide, is to get really low to the ground. Honestly, that works really well for portraits as well. Usually what I do with those kinds of portraits is I'll ask someone to sit with like their feet towards me and I'll get like their feet in the bottom of the frame and it just looks so cool and funky. I like it. Jacaranda and cherry blossoms are the best. Yeah, I wish we got more cherry blossoms in Sydney. I feel like we don't have as many. Like it's my dream to do a photo shoot with like a huge cherry blossom tree. And then we have this photo that I took with the 5 times lens. And again, unlike the wide angle lens that shows like the whole story, 5 times is so good at isolating things. So you yeah, you only pay attention to, in this photo, like the colors, for example, and the shapes of the branches look really interesting. Whereas in this photo, you're like, oh yeah, that's a jacaranda and those are some stairs. So then the 5x lens, by isolating things, can make it a little bit more creative. Okay, so something else that I had in the little slideshow that I showed you earlier of my edited photos is something that I do quite a lot with my landscape and cityscape photography, and that is I use my location to frame my subjects. And this doesn't work as well with portraits. Sometimes it does, but I feel like it works a lot better with like cityscapes and landscapes. So for example, there was like a lot going on here with the bridge. There was like heaps of boats and heaps of buildings, and I felt like they were all a bit distracting. So I found a little hole in the trees and I put the harbour bridge there, so it kind of like frames it up nicely. And then I have another shot here where I framed the building. Looking back on it now, I kind of wish the building was a little bit more to like the right hand side. But again, you can see like how striking it is when you frame up something with leaves or nature or other buildings. What about night photography? I have some night photos. We'll get to it. Once I have those people there, maybe I'll get rid of them. You have a photo shoot with one cherry blossom with the 35 f1.2. Yes. Oh, I like that. It already like decided to erase that. Done. Yeah, I feel like this one we could do some editing as well. So again, I want to start by bringing up the shadows a little bit, and then I want to add a little bit of contrast. And I feel like this photo looks a bit green, probably because we have so many leaves in the shot. So I'm going to bring up the tint, and I'll bring up the warmth slightly as well. There's the before and there's the after. And yes, I did do that cherry blossom shoot, but it was like one little tree in someone's front yard. It would be so cool to like be able to do like some full body shots, or like have like a whole row of cherry blossoms on either side. Like I want everything. Okay, so moving along. Let's get to these photos. I feel like I spend so much time talking. Did you do any shoots in Perth? I didn't do any portrait photo shoots, but Dan and I did lots of photos together, and I have a vlog. I have to edit that as well. I have so many travel vlogs. They're coming. I'm working on them, I promise. Okay, so here's that little street that I was talking about where you could see the opera house is like perfectly framed. And I took this with the 1x camera because it is quite far away. And there's like these little steps that you can walk up, and there's this big fern tree as well. So I was using the fern tree to create that natural framing that I was just talking about, because otherwise this photo would just have like a plain blue sky, which would also be nice, but I feel like the fern is a bit nicer. And there I like got in, I put my phone up a little bit more, and I got the crop to be a bit tighter as well. So you can see what a difference that makes. And then I also took a photo where it was like a little bit more zoomed in as well. And I kind of like having that person walking past, and then you've also got the boat in the background too. This photo, I think it's like a little bit crooked. That's what I'm saying. It looks straight when I'm taking it, and then I look at it later and I'm like, oh, it's a bit crooked. And then while I was taking that photo, there was like all this commotion happening on a tree. And there's like this cute little bird, this little parrot. And I actually, when I was looking at this photo, I was like, oh, this would be perfect in portrait mode, because like the tree, it doesn't have like the nicest leaves. It's like a wattle kind of leaf, which is very straight. So in a photo like this, it looks kind of messy. But then if you add like portrait mode and blur that up, that looks so nice. Maybe a little bit less blur. I feel like there. That's so cute. And then if I go to adjust, I might bring up the shadows again. All right, so there's the before and there's the after. And that's with 5x. So I'm doing like bird photography on a phone. Do you still mute the blacks in your photos? Yes, I love doing that. I feel like, actually, I have a video coming out really soon, a tutorial about the tone curves and RGB curves. And I was saying in that video how I feel like I used to be really heavy-handed with the matted blacks. And I still do it, but like a bit of a lesser effect now. It's a bit more subtle. I'm going to skip past a couple of photos because I want to get to editing your photos, and we're going to finish at about like 7:05 because I started a little bit late because I was having some difficulties. Okay, so here we are underneath the harbour bridge. So there's like two places you can walk to. There's one all the way on that side over there. So that's actually a road you can drive past, and you can also walk there too. And I'm just on like the other side of it. And it's such a cool viewpoint of the harbour bridge. I feel like you never really see photos of it that look like this. So I was under there and I was taking those detail photos because again, it's really nice having photos of different angles that kind of like tell a story. This is like a close-up of one of the pylons as well. And then there was like little boats that were driving past, and I was sailing past. And I was like, oh, that would be so cool if there was a boat with this shot that I found, if it was going right underneath the bridge. So I found a shot that I really like. I tried to get it all aligned so it looked even. And then I just kind of waited. And finally a boat came past and I got the shot where he was like right underneath the bridge, and I was pretty happy with that. So yeah, something that I like to do is I like to frame up my shots for street photography or cityscape photography, and then wait for something to come into my frame to make it interesting. So it's the boat is like the subject of my photo, because I can't exactly ask Dan or I to go stand in the water over there. There was also this ferry, which is really cute and vintage looking, but I think I missed it by like a second. And then here's another example of doing that. We have the jacaranda trees, which I'm absolutely obsessed with. And then I see this man kind of walking towards us, and I was like, oh, that'd make a really good shot. So I was like pretending to take photos of the tree, but I was really waiting for him to get into the right spot so I could also get a shot of him while he was walking past. Hi, parrot. Okay, and then I've got this little portrait here of Dan. So something that you can also practice when it comes to taking photos with your phone is lighting. So not only can you practice your composition, but you can also test out different kinds of light. So most of the photos that I've been showing you today already have been taken in direct light. So that's when the sun is shining directly onto the subject. In this photo, I'm using one of my favorite lighting techniques, which is backlight, and that's when the sun is behind your subject. And I like using this kind of light when I want to create like soft, dreamy photos. And yeah, so I saw the light coming there in through the trees. It was like quite low down to the horizon, so it was nice and golden. So I asked Dan to stand there so I could get a shot of him. Can portrait mode be activated in post? Yes. So just like I did with the bird, but this time let's do it with Dan. If you go into tools, you can tap on portrait blur. And I'm just going to move the subject to Dan there. And you can also adjust like how much blur there is. So if you don't want as much, you can kind of like bring it down a little bit. Do some photo shoots of boys also. I know, I really should. Maybe Dan could be like a model for me for one of my... I should come up with a concept and get Dan to model for me actually. But then we need someone to do video because Dan's always the one doing video. Okay, so I also wanted to show you quickly my thought process when it came to taking this photo. So it was very similar to the boat photo where I was like at the top of Observatory Hill just taking photos. I was like, oh, let's go into 5 times so I can take a photo of this boat. And then I was like, but it looks a bit plain, so let's try and frame it with the leaves. And I was like, oh, maybe the leaves aren't working, but there's like these planes flying past, so I'm going to take a photo of that instead. And I was like, okay, but this is a bit messy because you've got like the whole branch down the bottom and there's not that much going on. So I continued kind of like taking photos of all the things that I saw. Again, trying to frame the sun with the leaves. This isn't a bad photo. But then I found the Anzac Bridge and I was like, yes, this is the shot that I want. So I was like, I'm going to wait for either birds or a plane to come past. And then it came past and I managed to get this shot. I can volunteer. Oh, thanks, Kung. Okay, so I've got a couple of night sight photos here. I feel like it might be cool to edit this one. So this one I took in 5 times and I framed it a little bit lower than the other shots you could see because I like how you have like the trees in the bottom, then the water in the middle, and then the buildings in the top. One of the best tips I can give you when it comes to taking night sight photos like this is you don't actually want to wait until it's completely dark to take the photo. So these photos here, I took it with blue hour, which is a really beautiful time of day where the sun has just set, but it's not totally dark yet. So you've got like a little bit of ambient light to work with, and that's how you get like that really nice blue glow. And you can also see lots of detail in the sky and the foreground. So it's like a nice balance. Okay, so this one I feel like I'm going to add like a little filter to it. I like this one, clay, and I might actually bring down the opacity a little bit so it's not as strong. And then I want to go back into adjust and maybe I'll bring up the brightness a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit dark. And then I want to give it a little bit of a pink tint. So that's like a nice subtle edit. I feel like I love giving my night sight photos a bit of a blue tinge, especially in the shadows. Okay, let me know if there's any photo you saw that caught your eye that you want me to edit. Yeah, Julia. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. It's nice getting to like chat and live stream again. I feel like in this photo I really like the tree. I'm obsessed with the jacaranda. But the little orange cones are a bit distracting. I mean, we could get rid of the man too. No, I like the man. I actually want to get rid of these. So satisfying. Oh. I really like the wide angle shot under the harbour bridge. Thank you. Whoops. Anyway. Has the S-Log video format. And I'll just get rid of this last one. But it's so handy. I feel like done. I really like using the magic eraser tool. There's also the other tool, the generative tool that you can use for editing too. Let me discard that. Why can we do that? Maybe this photo. I just want to show you quickly because this is really fun. Do you ever use any generative AI tools in your editing or anything like that? I feel like I'm a little bit old school and I haven't used it that much recently, but not recently. I haven't used that much before, but recently I've started using it a little bit more and it's so fun. Let me just tap on that boat. So with this one, you can like tap and move it around somewhere else in the image. So I'm going to go there. And then I'm going to let the phone do its thing. Is the Pixel your personal phone? Yes. The eraser tools are so nice to have these days. I've been able to go back to so many photos I ruined in the past. Yeah, it is. It's really handy. And look, it just like moves where the boat is and then you can go through and select which one's like the best one. I feel like it's probably this one. so I feel like I should edit some of your photos because I don't want to run out of time. Whoop. Just destroying things here. Okay, what am I doing? I made a little folder. Hopefully you can see your usernames. Yes, okay. If I scroll up, you can see. Oh, okay. So this photo was taken. Oh, let me do some portrait mode ways first. Okay, I'll do I've got a couple of portrait photos to do first, and then I'll switch over to the tablet to edit the landscape photos just so it's not too tiny on the screen. Okay, so this photo was taken, sorry, the username is just there, ssdd_rafalb on Instagram. And thank you to everyone who submitted their photos, by the way. Generative AI is really fun to create with, but I still prefer to do things in camera. You get so much more control over the image in camera. That is very true. Okay, so I feel like this photo, I want to start by brightening it just a little, and then bringing up the shadows and the contrast as well. And then I want to bring down the highlights so we can get that sky. That's really nice. But yeah, I also really like doing things in camera as well. But sometimes, I don't know, it's like that thing that I was saying where you think you're taking a straight photo and then you look at it later and it's crooked. Sometimes I do that too, where I think everything's all good, and then later on when you're in the comfort of your own home editing photos, you're like, oh, there's something there in the background that shouldn't have been there or I didn't notice on the day. I guess it's handy for those situations. Okay, I'm going to increase the saturation and the warmth. Oh, but it's kind of actually this suits a cool edit. I always go for the warm edits because I edit so many portraits, and warmth suits portraits and skin tones. Okay, so here we have the before and here we have the after. That's a cool photo. I like it. Is it too late to submit a photo? Yes, sorry. But after this live stream, I feel like Dan's gonna bug me to do another I edit your photos live stream. I think I should, because it's so nice hanging out with you guys. So okay, let's edit the JPEG. All right, so I'm going to start by cropping this photo. I want to make sure it's nice and straight. And I might crop in down so his feet are just down towards the bottom of the frame there. And then I might go with a filter. Oh, I like the colors of this one, even though it's a little bit dark. So I'll bring up the brightness instead. And I like that added contrast too. We'll love to see another stream. Okay, let's do it. I really love the greens in this photo too. I feel like I warmed up the skin tones a little bit too much, so I might bring it down. Okay, that looks more normal. Okay, so there's the before and there's the after. Hello from far north Queensland, Australia. I really want to go back to far north Queensland. We went to Cairns earlier in the year. It was so humid though. I have curly hair that doesn't behave at the best of times, and in the humidity in Cairns, I'd wake up in the morning, my hair looked great, and then as the day happened, as the day continued, my hair just got like bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know. Okay, I feel, oh, can we like bring down the saturation of this one to black and white? Yes. When I saw this picture, I'm like, that's a black and white picture. This is a really cool photo. I feel like I want it to be quite dark and moody. So I'm going to bring up the highlights, and I brought the shadows way down just to make it super contrasty. And then I might bring up the contrast as well. Might also even just sharpen it a little. All right, there's the original and there's the after. Oh, I forgot to mention something. Cairns is the best to go in winter. Yeah, we went in, I think it was June, the beginning of June, middle of June. But yeah, it was really, really nice. Okay, sorry. So this photo before was taken by Photographs by Steven on Instagram. Shout out to Steven. And this photo was taken by Elias Valdis, who I don't believe has an Instagram because there's no underscores. Okay, so I'm going to switch it back to me, and then I'm going to switch over to the tablet for editing. If I can find my mouse on the many screens that I have right now. Okay. Oh, okay. Sometimes Ollie likes to go and lay down behind me when I'm in this room with the door closed. She makes me feel guilty that I closed the door. Oh no. So funny, like when you practice these things before you go live, they work perfectly, and then as soon as it's time for them to work well, they don't work. What's your favorite feature on the Pixel? Honestly, like the camera in general is really nice. And I like being able to shoot in RAW plus JPEG at the same time because as a photographer, I love editing my photos, but sometimes I like the ease of just having a ready to go JPEG, and I find that the processing in Pixel is really good. Like where the photos are not too, like, they're not too HDR, they're not too over sharpened, like they're a nice balance of everything. Another stream, okay. Ooh. Okay. So this photo was taken by maria.a.ala on Instagram. And I'm going to be editing on the tablet this time because you can see a little bit more with the landscape photos. Where's my pen? Oh, here. Devices can sense your mood and will malfunction at the worst of times. I know, it's like a printer. Printers do that too. They can sense your urgency and they're like, I'm not going to print for you because you're being a little bit too urgent. Actually, no, the pen's going to tap a bit too much. Ooh. Sorry. Okay, so I feel like I'm going to bring down the contrast here and bring up the brightness. I feel like a little bit of like a film look would be cool for this photo. Ooh, I can bring up the black points. It's kind of like a matte black kind of look. Hello from New Jersey. Bring up the pop, maybe a little bit of vignette, like 1% of vignette. Anything more than that is too much. Like it's moved by like a pixel. bring up the tint. I'm going to bring the white point down as well. Again, get it looking pretty moody. This is a really nice photo. Maybe I'll saturate it a little. Here's the before and here's the after. It's a bit of like a lo-fi kind of film edit. I don't know why, that's what I saw when I saw this picture. Actually, I'll save a copy. Hello from Bangladesh. Hello. All right, next I have this image here. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream pretty soon. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the chat. All right, so this one I'm gonna start off. I think I want the city to be like the main focus of this photo. Or I don't like that freedom cropping. Let's go 2x3. And I'm gonna put the city line on like the top third because I love that in the foreground. Was it like lily pads or something? They look so cool. Dan, where are you chiming in from? He's like in the internet. What if we do like a little auto enhance? Yes, I like that. Okay, so I feel like this would be cool if it's like a little cooler and a little bit more green. Are those lily pads? That's so cool. Alright, then I feel like we need more contrast in this photo. Contrast and some sharpening. Yeah, I really like that. That green, cool, like gritty kind of look. Maybe I'll bring down the highlights a little. Okay, there we go. I like that. Oh, and I'll show you who took this photo in a second once it saves my edits. Oh my god, fat fingers. This photo was taken by m_rytart on Instagram. And I think that was oh no, we got one more photo. Oh, this is like another portrait photo. Okay, well we're on the tablet now, so we're gonna stay on the tablet. How to get clients for photo shoots. So if you don't have anything in your book yet, I would recommend to go out and take photos of the kinds of work you want to be hired for. So if you want to do portrait photography, maybe I'll switch over to the phone. Where's my mouse? Yeah, so if you want to do portrait photography, maybe you could ask a friend or someone if you could take portraits of them so you can start getting that style of work in your book, and then making a website where you can share that work or sharing it on Instagram as well. Sorry, I'm doing like too many things at the same time. But yeah, first of all, like getting those photos out there in the style that you want. And then also, I feel like getting clients is kind of like a snowball effect. So it might feel really slow at once. So that photo shoot might get you 1 or 2 clients. And then if you give them like a good experience, I feel like word of mouth is so powerful when it comes to getting more photo shoot clients after that as well. Yeah. Okay, we're back. And I've got this last photo. This is so beautiful, this image. So this photo was taken in Spain by Narcissism on Instagram. I'm not sure how you pronounce that username. Hopefully I said it right. Okay, so again, I want to start with like a filter for this one. This one is really, oh, clay. I used that one before. I've got a favorite. No, yeah, clay looks really nice. I love the colors. It's got like a little bit of a like a warmth to the highlights and then a purpley blue almost color to the shadows. That is my vibe. When are you going to visit USA? Oh, hopefully soon. I have so many places on my list of places I want to go to. It's insane. But recently I've been really thinking about Yellowstone and what's the other place called? Grand Tetons National Park. If that's how you pronounce it, because I pronounce everything wrong. Okay, let's bring up the shadows so we can see all that detail on the right hand side. And then I'm going to bring down the black point to add a little more contrast. I'll bring down the highlights a little bit as well. And then I want to bring the blue tone down because I feel like the sky looks really, really saturated here. And then I might also just bring the overall exposure down a little bit as well. Make it a little bit more moody. And then maybe a little bit of pink tint and some slight increased saturation because I love the colors of those buildings. So pretty. And I'll bring the blue tone down again because I increased the saturation. Okay. So there's the original and there's the after. That's such a pretty photo. The reflection in the water too, so stunning. Would you ever do a travel trip where instead of taking your usual wide angle lens, you would take only a telephoto? Oh, I don't know, because a 35mm focal length is like my favorite for a camera. And then not having choices, that's really scary. Come visit Arizona. Yes. Honestly, I want to go everywhere. Great original photo. Yeah, this is a beautiful photo. Love that. Actually, that's a really nice crop there. Just like a little portrait crop of the buildings and the reflection. All right, I'm going to bring it back to me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for today's stream. You should see a link to the Google Pixel 8 Pro as well. If you're watching the stream live, there are Black Friday sales going on at the moment. If you're watching it after it's live, you might want to check what dates if the sales are still going on. I'm willing to sabotage your camera back to the next stream. Oh, the time, yeah, the 35 to 150 it just covers everything like the phone. You got 12mm all the way to 110mm. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed like seeing some of my photos and like a different side of my photography too, because you know I always share my portraits here on YouTube and on Instagram, and yeah, I've been trying to share a little bit more of like my landscape, cityscape, street photography as well, which is what I wanted to do today. Actually, a little challenge for myself is how to end this stream. I think I have to press up there first and then down here. Yeah, if you have no more questions, I'm gonna head off. The awkward end of the stream. But okay, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for all the questions, and I'll have to set up another live stream soon. Maybe we should do like one a month or something. Just, yeah, remind me. Do another of these, please. Okay, we're gonna do another live stream in December. Mark my words. All right, thank you everyone. I really hope you enjoyed. Okay, what do I press? All right, bye guys.